Okay. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Right.
Okay. An awful lot of blank screens here. Okay.
Yeah, I think we have, it's just the three of us. It's myself, you, Colleen, and Jesse tonight. Shelly and Lainey could not make it.
Yes. With 5 members, 3 is a quorum, so we're good.
Yep, good to go.
We don't really have much of anything we need to vote on. There's no last minute memorial benches or anything,
Nope.
right?
Nah, pretty straightforward tonight.
Okay. All right. First up is roll call. We're all here except for Shelly and Lainey. We knew they weren't going to be here.
Yep.
Okay. Roll right into the approval of meeting minutes. I got my minutes. Everybody got theirs. They're pretty straightforward. Colleen, you moved?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Second. Okay. Anybody have any comments or questions on it?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. All in favor of the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
There we go.
Okay.
Good.
Now to me, park facility updates. We have a few. It's not a huge agenda tonight when it comes to information, but I'll go through some things that are going on in the parks. We had a repair we had to make to the skate park. A few of the bolts came out of the ramps. One of our park security staff found that one day on the opening, and we had to shut the park down for a few days, waiting on the bolts to come in. And everything's good now. Everything's put back together. Skateboarders are happy. They're back in there well until it snowed. So that was one thing that happened since we last met. The wastewater tank project at the community park, the tank is in the ground. I believe we still have to hook up the plumbing to it. I have to follow up with Jason from Public Works on that. So it was above ground the last we talked. Now it's in the ground. I just think we have to do some plumbing hookups there and fill it in and get it inspected. I think TOFA's got to look at that just to make sure everything's okay also. So we anticipate that being open for the spring season when the bathrooms reopen. The playground project over at Mill Creek Playground, we did add wood carpeting to the new playground that was put in, and we did install temporary fencing around there. If you recall, the last meeting, we're going to be putting in an ADA accessible ramp and a little parking area there when the weather breaks. So until we do that, we need that ramp in, that ADA accessible path to come up to code. We rented some temporary fencing, and then we're just going to put that in once the ramp and the path and the parking area are put in, and that playground will open, and it'll be great to use for the summer. The next thing, 3 Arches. I think the last time we talked, we had some electrical problems with the driveway lights. It was a bad breaker. We did get that repaired. I know we were kind of going back and forth with the electrician. A couple of the poles did have issues. One of the poles kind of cracked in the ground. They're not the most sturdy of poles. So we're going to have to get a new pole put in there, and the back pole walk light there. That's something we're still working on. Something happened with that. So it's always an ongoing issue at the old house over there. So, but the lights to the main driveway are working, and the flagpole light was out too. We just replaced that. It was just the bulb. So the only light that's not working there are the lights by Trenton Road by the sign. That was on that breaker. We were trying to kind of do a process of elimination there, and that was disconnected. I had to have the electrician hook that back up. So I anticipate getting them out there in the next week or so to do that. So we should be up and running there. The memorial bench replacement program, if you recall, we were able to purchase 11 benches with some remaining funds from the 2020 budget for some of the older benches. And we're going to transition the older wooden benches over to the recycled plastic that we use for all the newer ones that we put in. We received 11 in. We've replaced 3 of them so far. So the guys are moving along really well with that. They've had some downtime before the storm hit. And, we're kind of moving along there, working with the guys on that. So,
How many were replaced?
3 out of 10 that are in really bad shape. So we're going to replace more as we go along. And the bench that we approved at the last meeting, the plaque shipped today. I anticipate hopefully that bench coming in a couple weeks for that newer app that we approved last month. So that's where we're at there. Von Hoffman Park, we were approved for a new triple swing bay there at Von Hoffman as part of the capital budget expense. That part has been ordered, and we should be getting that swing bay in within the next 2 weeks. And our public works guys will be doing the install. The issue with the existing swing bay is that was not up to code. So instead of, once you remove one of those old swing bays, similar to what we dealt with at Kirby Park, it's really hard to use them again. They kind of get beat up. So we're looking to do a brand new one over there, and we're going to put it in up to code. So if you notice, there's a theme there with all these new playgrounds. A lot of old things that were put in weren't up to code at the time. Things got changed over the years. So we're kind of, with every new install we have, that we have to keep all these things in mind. So that was one thing we came across. We put it in for the budget, got approved. It's going to go in a few weeks. So that'll be changed. So real happy about that. Community Park Phase 2 playground. If you recall at the last meeting, we had to fix the climbing net part to that playground. The parts should be in any day now for that. Last time we talked, we were ordering the parts. Now the parts should be in. Again, we will schedule the public works guys to install that new part over there when it comes in. So, playground repairs, that type of things are moving along very well. Our guys have been out there doing some inspections, and once you do inspections, you find issues. So we're just trying to stay ahead of the game. That's the whole part with that. So that's kind of what I have on facility. And one more thing, Kirby Park, the new playground over there, we are going to have a welder come in. There's a part there on the ramp, the entry ramp there, that we need to have a metal plate put on there. It is a gap there where it could be a head entrapment issue that we discovered. It wasn't really anything with the new unit when they put it in. It was just how we had to construct that ramp on a berm, and the way it sit when the guys were doing the final inspection over there. We did put a temporary piece in there till we get a more permanent piece put in there. So that should be done hopefully in another week or two. So that was the last thing I wanted to add to that. So that's where we're at right now on facilities. Any questions on that, or a lot?
No.
You get all that, Jesse? I know it's a lot.
Back to the Mill Creek
Yep.
playground.
Yes.
Carpeting needed to be upgraded, and what else? The ADA path?
The carpeting was done. Our guys did go in there, do the carpeting, and we installed a temporary pound-in fencing. It's a little more stable. We had that orange safety fencing up there, which can't keep anybody out. So until we get that up to code with the ADA path, you have to have an ADA path, accessible path in every playground now. Till we do that, we wanted to close that off for liability issues. And once the weather breaks, we're going to do that, and that'll come out, and that playground will be ready to roll for the summer and the warmer weather before the summer, I should say. You okay and everything else?
Yeah.
Okay. Guess I'll move on to the monthly report. I think you all have a copy of that. I sent it over. Let me just pull up my copy. Okay. Pinewood Pool and Summer Camp registration. We are going live next Monday, the 8th of February, with several COVID-19 protocols will be in place for both programs. So what does that mean? Pinewood Pool, what we have to do over there, as of right now, we have to go under 2020 guidelines. These guidelines could change. I did talk to the Department of Health over the last few weeks, and they anticipate some restrictions being eased, especially for pools. But as of right now, we're going to have to cap it. We're going to have a maximum capacity in the pool. And what I'm going to be doing, and probably, hopefully later this week, we're waiting for the weather to break, is to go over to the pool. We're going to measure the outside perimeter around the grass, around the pool deck, and see how many spots that we have. What we go by is a 10 by 10 spot, similar to the, if you all been at the Family Festival, you know how we rent the table vendor spots are 10 by 10. We're going to do 10 by 10s, 6 feet in between, another set of 10 by 10s. That's for a family of 5. So once we measure that out around the perimeter, I'll know how many people we can get in at a set time. So what we're probably going to have to do at the beginning of the pool season, hopefully not all summer, is we're going to have to do a reservation system at the pool. So what we're talking about right now is doing, say, let's go on a weekend day, for example. We're going to do 2 time slots. You'll have 12 to 3:30, or you'll have 4:30 to 8. We're going to close in between for an hour to clean and disinfect. We'll be doing that throughout regardless, but we're going to give it a nice cleaning in between. We are not going to put out pool furniture this year. People are going to have to bring their own. People will have to wear masks entering the building, exiting the building, using the restrooms and the vending machines. Once they're in their spot, their designated spot, and obviously in the water, they will not have to wear their masks. Lifeguards won't have to wear masks on the deck. Gate guards will in the lobby, managers, myself, obviously I'll have it when I'm there. And we're going to limit the guards using the guard room there. You know, just basic COVID-19 protocols. We'll have signage everywhere and so forth. Working on that right now.
What are the time frames again?
Right now, this is an example. It isn't set in stone yet. This is what I've talked about with the pool managers. What we're looking to do is, if we're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the typical hours are 12 to 8. So what we would do is you would sign up for a 12 to 3 spot. And once we reach capacity, at that time slot would be full. And then the other time slot would be 4:30 to 8. That's 3.5 hours each. That's your time slot. So some people might not come at 12. They might get there at 1:30. They'll still have a good amount of time to use the pool. What I'm looking at doing is setting something up 10 days out. So people will be able, using the Capture Point Community Pass, the online system we use, we can use a scheduling system on there, a reservation system. So I'm working with the Community Pass to build that. Looks pretty user-friendly. So everybody will have 10 days to sign up, and you'll be eligible for 1 time slot per day. So you can't technically go in there and sign up for 12 to 3 and 4 to 7:30. We're going to have to, try to get as many people as possible in there. There'll be no guests as of right now. We're not doing guests, members only. So priority is going to be given to members only. So this is going to be laid out probably on the website and probably social media within the next few days prior to registration. So I want people knowing exactly, what we're going to be doing there. Hopefully this is just for part of the summer. The Department of Health is kind of very optimistic that restrictions will ease. So I'm hoping that area of reserving times, which is controversial, will kind of alleviate a little bit, diminish as the summer goes on. So that's our goal there. And then we'll just adjust as we go. If things change before we even open, we will adjust. This is just the plan we have right now. So like everything else, it's a ever-changing dynamic right now with the pools. So that's kind of where we're at with the pool. Now, summer camp. We are going to use Walt Disney Elementary once again for summer camp. However, being guest at Pennsbury School District, we are going to be limited our capacity for the summer. Essentially, we're going to be at half capacity of our normal capacity. We usually accept 175 campers. This year, we have to limit it to 84. We have 7 classrooms, which is 7 different age groups, maximum of 12 per age group, with 2 to 3 counselors per room. So we're essentially cutting the campers in half, and the staff will be cut in half as well. So this is coming from Pennsbury. We have to work under the restrictions. This is what they're currently doing in the school right now. There's enough space for 12 students in a room. We're going to focus as much on outdoor activities as possible. We're not going to do field trips. Trips to the pool are kind of up in the air right now. That depends on pool restrictions and so forth. That could change as we get closer. But we're going to be as creative as possible and offer them as much in-camp entertainment as possible. The kids are going to have to stay in their age group and not mix with the others. No before and after care. However, we're extending the base program. The base program is usually 9 to 4. And before care is 8 to 9, after care is 4 to 5. We're going to go 8:30 to 4:30. We're splitting the difference a half hour on each end. Try to accommodate as many people as possible.
8:30 to 4?
8 to 4:30.
4:30.
It's just a base program this year. So I anticipate camp filling up. If we open up Monday, I would say we're going to be full within a week. Because people are already getting a lot of questions now. Now, if something should change fairly soon on that, where we would be allowed to have more children in there, if the school grants that, we'll adjust that. But there's going to be a cutoff point where we're going to have to stick to it, because I'm only committing to hiring so much staff, and I might not be able to get additional staff as we get closer to summer. They're looking for other jobs. The ones we're not bringing back. We have pretty much 85 to 90% of our staff for camp lined up. The pool's a little different. I need a lot of staff, a lot of lifeguards, nothing new there. And the whole staff needs to be recertified since nobody worked last year. So there's some challenges there. I'm working on some options for their staffing wise. So that's the big thing. And both programs are slated to open up for registration on Monday, the 8th at 9 a.m. Okay. Next item was Touch a Truck. Typically, we hold that the last Saturday in April. We had a committee meeting last month, and it was actually my suggestion, why don't we do it the same day as the Family Festival? So do it that morning from 9 to 2, and then we're going to run the Family Festival from 4:30 to 8:30. So we'll have a little break in between. Since we kind of close that side of the park off for the Family Festival in the morning anyhow, I think we're going to do both events together. It's going to be a busy day, but it could be a fun day, and hopefully by the fall, we can do these events. I'm really scaling back all spring events. I'm going to push everything back to the late summer, fall if we can. So, which goes into the breakfast at the Bunny Egg Hunt. We're not going to do that this year. Easter comes early this year. It's in March, I think, this year, or the week before. It's April 4th, but we usually do it the week before. So it's coming fairly fast, and I don't know about restrictions. I still think we're going to be under some. So I'm really kind of erring on the side of caution, pushing everything back, at least to the summer and early fall. Hopefully vaccinations will be rolling out better, and we'll be in a little better position, with the COVID by then. So that was kind of the decision there with pushing the Touch a Truck back. And the date for that is September 18th for the Touch a Truck and Family Festival. Rain date, Saturday, September 25th. So we got a while to go on that. In the interim, the skateboard instruction program, Escape the Foundry, that we just had this past fall, if you recall. I've been in touch with them. We're going to do another spring workshop, which is March 6th. It's March 6th through April 10th. It's Saturday mornings. Very similar to what we did. It's a 6-week deal. It's $165 for a resident, $180 for a non-resident. Township will get a slight cut out of that. Very similar to what we did. It was very successful. I think we had about 10 kids last time. They maxed it out. And we're also going to do a summer camp in August. I'm working on some dates with them for that. They're doing a bunch of these programs all around. They're doing some in Middletown. They're going to hit us. I know they do a lot in Philadelphia. So that was very popular. And, for us to have a facility to offer that and, more organized programming for the skateboarders, I think it's going to be a great thing. And we just hope to build off of that. So I'm really excited about working with those guys going forward with the skateboard workshops. Okay, I talked about the camp staff and the pool staff. We have a new company doing the geese harassment. I'm sure you probably all heard about that. I probably read about it or saw it on Facebook or whatever. We had used S&S Wildlife and Geese Chasers of Southeast PA the last several years for geese harassment. We received a quote late last year from the Geese Police of Philadelphia. They're predominantly use the border collies, but they also do, the on the water harassment, the foot harassment, egg addling. They kind of do everything, as we were paying two separate companies to do certain things. And there's a substantial savings potential for this year, several $1,000s. So we're going to give them a shot this year and see how they do. They're going to probably be out there 6 days a week, doing geese harassment at the park up pretty much all year. And we're going to see how they do at the end of the year and evaluate it. And if it goes well, it could be a company we can go with going forward, or we still have the other companies I'm sure we could bring back if it doesn't work. So that's something you all know we've been doing for several years now, and it's been successful. I know it's controversial. Not a lot of people are crazy about it, but I think it's really improved the quality down there of the walking past the fields, the areas if you use the park as compared to the way it used to be. So that's where we're at there. And fishing derby. We're going to hold that on Memorial Day, which is the 31st. We're still a little while away from that. So I do have some ideas for that, not set in stone. Ralph, we can talk about this a little bit. I was thinking I'm going to push pre-registration as much as possible, to eliminate people gathering around the table at the beginning of the event. How we get slammed. I'm not going to say they can't. It's not going to be say, hey, you can't show up the day of. We're never going to say that, but I'm really going to push it hard. And I was thinking about not doing the casting contest, which that's usually people gather at the end there. We just do the straight fishing derby. And that's something we can talk about. So that's kind of how I was leaning. What do you think about that?
Well, if the goal is to try to keep people from gathering around the table, yes, pre-registration as much as possible will help that. They still have to be at the table even with pre-registration though, because we still have to check them in and give them their stuff if we have stuff and give them the number. If they haven't registered, we could maybe bring another table and have it set up separately. Yeah,
I'd say we might have to set up several different areas almost like, hey, this is for you're signing up right now. This is for you just getting your badge. We might have to get a little creative there. I mean, I just put that out there.
Well, just for them to fill in.
Yeah.
Because we're still recording them all together. We still put them down the name and then we get numbers. If we try to have two registration tables, that doesn't work.
Right.
Unless we were to separate age registration, but then it's an issue because a lot of families come, so you have multiple kids.
They're all together. Yeah, that would be hard.
The simple ways you think you could try to separate people, it's not as easy to do with the way we run this event.
Yeah, but I want to do the event because I think there's it's a great event, even with there's plenty of room. Perfect.
We still have fewer kids than we used to have, and that will help a little bit. And they can spread it easily enough. And usually when they come in groups, they're going to stay in groups for the most part.
Sure. Yeah, they will. And like I said, we have time to brainstorm on that. I just kind of wanted to kind of put it out there and kind of get you what I was thinking. But again, nothing's set in stone. We can really talk about fine tuning things as we get closer. But I'm looking forward to that. It's a shame we couldn't do it last year, but because we didn't know a lot. I think this year we know a lot more, and I think by then, it's a perfect event for even under the worst of circumstances that we've been dealing with. So I want to get that one back out there, and but we can talk about it further.
Well, for the casting contest, what was your idea for?
I wasn't necessarily going to run the casting contest because that's a very slow mover, as anyway. People, that's not very conducive. Now, if there's another way we can do something like that, we could do that. That could be something we could talk about, though.
Now, you're talking really what it would need. We'd probably need 2 places to do it.
We can do that.
Running 2 at the same time. No, it just means we have to take up a little more space somewhere.
Yeah, it should be fine. We can move down a little bit too.
If we're going to try to cover, distancing and cleanliness, then we, just have to wipe down rod each time it gets passed. That's not
That's
that
not
big
a-
a deal.
No, it's not. It's
We
not.
can,
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, because we're really, like I said, I'm scaling back a lot here in the spring. That'll probably going to be the first thing we're going to do, which I think is pretty far enough back that, I think things will be, I'll knock on wood, will be a lot better. But, that'll kind of be our kickoff for like a bigger event. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. So, yeah, we got time to talk about it. Yeah, we'll kind of come up with some ideas. We can go back and forth.
well, I understand why you want to run it. It's one of the few things we can do under
Exactly.
existing requirements.
Exactly.
Even regardless of whatever's there, we can still do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So even if nothing is left between now and the end of May, we can still
As
do
much
it.
as we can do. And I know Kyle's here on the call. We're going to be doing a lot of drive-ins with Kyle this summer. I think we're going to have 5 weekends drive-in movies and possibly a couple concerts too. We still got to tweak that a little bit, but we have some dates in mind through the summer. So stay tuned on that. They worked very well. We're hoping this year we can add some elements to that, like some bounce houses, food trucks, stuff like that we couldn't do last year to make it even more of a family event for the kids and the family. So we'll have a little more on that as we get closer. But we're definitely running the drive-in movies. But I'm hoping we can do some extra things with that too. So we'll talk about that at meetings down the road. That's a while down the road yet, but that's pretty much what I have for everything right now. Biggest thing is getting the camp and the pool kind of tighten up, with working with the Board of Health and things changing there. They seem to be bullish on things easing as we get closer to summer, which I think will be good news for everything.
Absolutely.
If vaccination ramps up like they're kind of hoping, then yes,
Yeah.
I think things could lift what we expect, but it's got to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I was kind of excited to hear that. I talked, Dr. Damsker himself was seen to be bullish on it, which is good. Obviously things can change, but I think, we didn't have that last year. So I'm going to take any win we can get. And believe me, I don't want to do a reservation system for the pool because that's going to not make everyone happy. But to open it up, we're going to have to start out and we'll do the best we can. And we'll get as many people in as we can. The camp.
The reservation system works for others. They did it last year.
It worked last summer for a lot of pools. And I think the biggest issue would be on busy weekends, holiday weekends, the beautiful weather. That's when we are at our busiest. And that'll be just, and everybody will have a chance each day. It's not like you can only come Monday and Friday. It'll be kind of like a daily thing. So you got to be on top of it. And if we get back, and obviously if things ease there, we can start easing some restrictions and that'll make it easier on everybody. It'll be tough this year not having guests because that's a big source of revenue for us. That's probably our biggest, and then like the splash nights, the after hour rentals where we make some money. We're not doing that, any extracurricular stuff. We might do a couple movie nights at the pool. That's something I think we could probably pull off as we get closer. But my goal right now is to get a staff. Not being there last year, a lot of guards moved on. They ended up doing different things, and whether lifeguard in other places or just not being lifeguards anymore. Trying to get everybody certified again is a challenge, and places aren't offering a lot of classes right now where they're not open yet. So I'm working with the Doylestown Y on potential. Might be working with Lower Makefield as a group there to get a group rate on certification and recertification. They did give us a pretty good offer. Penn Aquatics, who kind of took over, who used the pool at the high school swim program. I reached out to them and I got some good dialogue going on with the gentleman over there. They might actually run a lifeguard class and a recert class, and they could do some recruiting for us too. So I'm really excited about that potential. I'm trying to make it as convenient for anybody to get to a class and so forth. So it's a challenge, but we'll get there. We'll get there. That's what I have right now. So.
Okie dokie.
Right, that was a lot, but a lot going on. So it's busier than, even with the snow coming in, we're still busy trying to set things up. Yeah, in the planning phases.
Okay.
All right. That's where we're at.
That's it.
Yep. I don't think we had any public comment. I don't believe anybody was here, so.
Yeah, nobody else is here. Yeah, unless we have something going on and we're just here to listen to you talk.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, I talked enough. All good.
Okay.
All right.
Either you, Colleen or Jesse, have anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I got nothing either.
All right. Well, it's good seeing everybody again. Hopefully we'll get back soon and we'll get everybody else back soon too.
You're good down there, right, Brian? You didn't get quite as much snow, did you?
Now I'm up here now. I'm in Middletown.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot you moved.
Yeah. Now I actually, the office was closed yesterday, and today I had to kind of dig out here today. I had to help a lot of my neighbors over here. So
Yeah.
it was tough. So we'll be back in tomorrow. So everything's good. They did a pretty good job over here getting the roads clear today. So I think we'll be in
Oh,
good
yeah, they
shape.
do.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is that they run along Alden Avenue at about 25 miles an hour.
They go pretty quick.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So